understand that speaking off of impulse or even calculating what you're going to say, but still you got to say it in a way that it's received and it's understood. And I don't think that the way T.O. said what he said, I don't think it was received and understood, not the way at least that he intended for it to be, you know. So I think when guys get in positions like that, it's probably best to just be quiet and let some time go by and position yourself in the ring to do something, and then let that speak, you know. So
just quickly, like I said, I want to get to Canelo. Solid fight against Ryder. Solid fight. Ryder's only been knocked out once, and it was a technical knockout. Yeah. And I want to say people kind of thought it was early, even then. So, I mean, he didn't get knocked out by Canelo. Yeah. Canelo was getting touched up a little bit, but, he's in his hometown. He's fighting a guy that maybe he thought he would kind of be dominant over. It's not a Bivol. It's not a David Benavidez, right? What were your thoughts on Canelo's performance? And then where does he go from?
I thought it was a solid performance for Canelo. I thought it was the best Canelo we've seen in probably 3 fights. Oh, wow. That being said, probably even before it, probably Joe Sanders was the last, like, I thought legitimate, strong outing that we've seen Canelo in. The other fights were just kind of up and down. There's moments and things like that. I still think that he left his defense in the locker room or at the gym. I thought that he should have been sharper defensively and stepping around and things like that. But yeah, when you're at home and this is one for the fans and the family, and this guy isn't going to beat you. Sometimes you're not as sharp as you need to be, So where does he go from here? I'm not sure who that opponent is, but I think he needs to be strong again, sharp again, and if that means staying at 68 and finding someone that can, be that adversary for you that's going to make you look good. He's earned the right to be in those kind of fights. I know you guys don't want to hear that. You want to hear what you're not going to get. You're not getting Benavidez, okay? You're not getting. I'd like to see Charlo. I would like to see Charlo. I think that's a good, exciting fight. But you won't see Benavidez, so I'm not even going to waste my time saying that.
That's why I didn't go directly into that, because I feel like maybe that's a couple of years away, if at all, right?
Yeah.
No,
it's not happening.
Couple of years. What?
No. He's only 33.
Couple of years.
That's not couple of years. Well, I mean,
stop it. Couple of years? What are you talking? I keep laughing with a couple of years.
Like
what?
Year, maybe Benavidez beats me.
No.
There's no route.
There's no route. I could see Canelo getting in the ring with Morrell before I could see him getting in the ring with Benavidez.
Why is that?
Morrell ain't even where Benavidez is at. Because I think that when the team looks at the lack of experience of Morrell and there's a couple of other determinations, I think Benavidez is the most rounded fighter at 168. And arguably one of the best well-rounded fighters in boxing. Simple as that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why it doesn't happen? Because
100%. 100%.
Wow, okay. Interesting.
That's interesting. Throw it in there, we'll go ahead and do it. Did Floyd put himself in harm's way at the end of his career? Or did Floyd put himself put himself in the ring with guys that he knew, I'm going to get you this way. If I don't get you this way, I'm going to get you that way. You don't see that from Benavidez. Ooh, couple of years.
It's just going to get worse, right? Davis is going to get better.
Years? What? No.
It's not that.
No.
It's not. Last one I want to talk to you about. We touched on it earlier, Spence Crawford. I mean, do you know anything? Can we see Terence's text maybe just real cool with the last? Well, has he talked to you about it? Anything?
My man is in town, and I haven't even said this on my podcast, but I'll say it right here. He's in town, and I give all my guys like I give them their space. I understand my job as a podcaster and as someone who brings news and things like that to the sport, but I also have to be mindful of my friendships, my relationships, and do things strategically. So at some point in some time, hopefully we'll get him in on the show. But if he is not able to say anything, I'm not going to bring him onto the show and put him in a compromising position. I'm not going to be the one to do it. I'll let you guys do that, man. That's like your space. That's what you guys have always done. You guys go and you pull it out of us.
Gotta try.
I can't say us anymore, but yeah,
you're on our side now.
Yeah. So, but I just don't see. That's not really my style. I'll let you do that. Yeah.
Just
let me know though.
Just talking about that. What's it like being on this side now? Kind of, before you were the fighter, and maybe I don't think you personally, but fighters tend to hear things, just like the Teofimo thing, right? He was upset at Bradley and Ward for their comments. Yeah. Do you get that on your side now? Maybe you have an opinion about somebody, and they're like, "Hey, Shawn, what was the deal with that?"
We were just talking about that. It comes my way. I try to be as respectful as possible, but yeah, I've had friends call and text and all that kind of stuff. But I just, and that's why it's called the Porter way. I believe that the way I decide to do things, I try to be as respectful as possible. I try to be as creative and fun as possible. And, the slip-ups here or there, I do learn from them almost instantly. And, there's been a couple of cases where guys have called and said, hey, respect this, that, so on and so forth. But I take it gracefully and understanding that, hey, it's a part of the job now. Well, not everybody's gonna like what you have to say. I know that there could be some feedback from me not ranking Shakur as number one. He's the guy, but I can't ignore the fact that Tank has been my number one guy for some time now. So, but I take it gracefully and I enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, it's a part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
The Porter Way podcast. Watch it all platforms: YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. Shawn, always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, man.
See you later.